It was a game show, a quiz. The host asked my mom, "What's 1 plus 1?" My mom didn't hesitate. 3? Everyone froze. To afford my astronomical surgery fees, my family had entered this show. 10 correct answers meant a $5 million prize. After a grueling 9 correct answers, the host, out of pity, asked a softball question. This prize money was my lifeline. But my mom, a math PhD, deliberately got it wrong. I shot up from the hospital bed, a sharp pain in my chest. The host quickly recovered, forcing a cheerful smile. Professor Eleanor Miller is a math PhD. Perhaps in an undeveloped field of mathematics, 1 plus 1 could equal 3. However, the question I just asked was very simple. You just need to think like a first grader. But my mom blinked, her voice firm. 1 plus 1 is 3. The host's face fell. My older brother, Ben, held up 2 fingers, frantically waving them in front of Mom. "Mom, just one more correct answer and we'll get the prize money for Lily's surgery. This is no time for jokes." My dad, Richard, was also sweating profusely. "Honey, did you mishear the question? Or just accidentally say the wrong answer?" But no matter how much Dad and Ben pleaded, Mom stubbornly insisted, 1 plus 1 equals 3. The audience erupted. Is this mother crazy? It has to be a script. What mother in the world would want her own child to die? Each question had only 10 minutes to answer. As the countdown neared its end, I begged the doctor to help me make a video call to the show. The production team quickly connected. My pale, weak face appeared on the big screen. A collective gasp rose from the audience. The host's eyes even welled up with sympathy. At 16, I had been suddenly diagnosed with a malignant heart tumor, my life in danger every moment. The only hope for my survival was the show's prize money. The host was on pins and needles. There are only 3 minutes left. If you answer incorrectly, all your efforts will be for nothing. To participate in this show, my entire family had crammed for 3 months, pulling all-nighters through the question bank. After finally answering 9 questions correctly, Mom was spouting nonsense on the 10th. I spoke carefully. "Mom, the prize money is $5 million. My treatment only costs $3 million. I won't take a single penny of the remaining money. And when I recover, I promise to work hard and all my salary will go to you, to honor you." A wave of sympathy washed over the audience. My mom's eyes also welled up. With 10 seconds left on the countdown, Mom raised her hand, signaling she wanted to change her answer. I finally breathed a sigh of relief. Maybe Mom was just joking around. "My apologies. I misspoke earlier. 1 plus 1 should equal..." I held my breath. Mom scanned the entire studio, then suddenly smiled. 1 plus 1 equals 1. The countdown ended. The $5 million on the big screen instantly zeroed out. Then Mom leisurely added, "My bad, I was just careless earlier. 1 plus 1 should equal 2, but the countdown had already ended." My surgery fees were gone. A sharp pain shot through my chest, and my vision blurred. Ben roared, out of control. "Mom, what in the world are you doing? Lily is going to die." Mom simply pointed calmly at the screen. "Look, isn't Lily in so much pain? You knew she was in pain and you still deliberately answered wrong?" Ben's eyes were bloodshot. "You clearly knew that a correct answer would save her life. It's all your fault." Mom suddenly raised her voice. "My fault? I didn't do it on purpose. Of course I know 1 plus 1 equals 2, but I just answered carelessly." "Careless?" My eyes widened. How could anyone carelessly get 1 plus 1 wrong? Mom clearly knew that if we didn't get the prize money for the surgery, I would die immediately. Why would she... Amidst everyone's confusion and anger, Mom raised an eyebrow, then turned to Ben. "Ben, do you remember? In your middle school entrance exam, you lost 5 whole points because you wrote 1 plus 1 equals 3. Because of those 5 points, you couldn't get into that top middle school. I criticized you back then, and you dared to talk back, saying you were just careless and would pay attention next time. Today, I'm going to show you what huge consequences a moment of carelessness can lead to." Mom pointed at the big screen. "You watch carefully and remember how Lily is now, sweating in pain. This is the consequence of carelessness. Today, I'm going to use your sister's suffering to teach you a lesson." Everyone exploded. My eyes widened in disbelief. Ben was already a junior in college this year. Mom was still holding a grudge over his middle school entrance exam. Dad was furious. "Do you know Lily's going to die any minute? If you want to teach Ben a lesson, can't you do it at another time?" Mom grumbled impatiently. "Doctors always exaggerate. Lily is so young, she'd definitely last longer than others. Ben's careless habit needed to be fixed ages ago." If the gentle approach doesn't work, then I'll give him a lesson that'll be carved into his bones so he learns to remember. I could barely breathe. The nurse held my hands tightly, her eyes full of pity. Dad roared, threatening to fight Mom. Mom held up a hand, blocking him. What's the rush? Didn't the show still have a sudden death round? If we answer the next question correctly, even if we don't get $5 million, we'll still get $3 million. That's enough for Lily's surgery. Under the host's soothing, Dad and Ben finally calmed down. Mom looked at the big screen, her eyes gentle. Lily, just hold on a little longer. Mom just wanted to use this